because there's a song called WAP?
What?
WAP?
What?
Is it WAP or WAP? I don't know. This is put out here by an artist named Cardi B.
Okay!
I know that Ben got in trouble for this the other day because Ben just read the lyrics of this disgusting song. It's probably the most disgusting song I've ever heard. This is actual audio pornography, which I didn't know could exist.
There's obviously a huge gap between the high forms of art that have been created by members of the black community and the rap culture of today. I mean, it's a pretty broad range between Nat King Cole and Louis Armstrong and Duke Ellington and, say, Cardi B, who's now, I guess, interviewing the former Vice President of the United States.
What?
And it's because you're pandering, right? You're pandering. You look at Cardi B's Instagram, you see she has millions of followers, and you think, okay, this is an illiterate person, and if I appeal to this illiterate person and she does, oh, grr, like she literally did.
You gotta go to jail too.
Oh boy, did she just make a bird noise? This is gonna tank my campaign. Okay, I'm firing someone for this. There must be a mole here from the Trump campaign who set me up on this interview to make me look bad.
In the middle of this interview, they think she's cool, she's hip just by sitting here and taking this interview, black people will vote for me. It's basically saying, black people, you are stupid.
You stupid fool!
But people were very upset that he was calling this out, so it made me go and listen to the song. This thing is so obscenely degrading to women, but that's not the only point I have to make about it. If that were it, look, that's rap music. Rap music's always degrading to women. The point about this is the degradation of the individual and the degradation of American society and the degradation of our interpersonal relations.
Cardi B is going to be looked at as a black woman. And while they're getting the bag, and while they're getting money, what you don't know is you are making it bad for women of today that are black.
They're strippers or former strippers. They come from that life. So this is nothing new. Unfortunately, if you have teenage girls, they're going to be exposed to this type of sexual music, which they probably already see. This is the deal. They probably already have.
So the song begins. I'll have to clean this up as I go, I suppose. It opens up with a repeated line. There's some whores in this house. Sung by a woman. She's very proud of this. She's accepting her identity as a whore. She's reveling in that.
I think the society's at the point of no return. You guys already know that. I wrote the book, The Evolution, and these are the things. People want to talk about, as a female artist, the empowerment. Oh, this is empowering for me to come out and display my body and talk about sexually, whatever the men talk about sexually, I should be able to talk about sexually.
And you're gonna hear that men don't have respect for women. Well, if women allow themselves to be portrayed like this, well, what are you gonna expect? And again, it's so loud when men are making women look bad like this. And I understand it. But when women are doing this to women, it's quiet.
Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes.
Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes, saying, degrade me. I want to be degraded, and I want you to acknowledge that you are degrading me while you do it.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring, AA. The language of most of it is so disgusting, I certainly can't read it on the show.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring. So basically what she's saying here is, all I have to offer to you as a man is this wet box, which is not even wet, which is not even a little garage like she says. It's been used, it's been ran through, it's been abused, but she won't tell you these things because she had to work her way up. Like she said also in the lyrics.
She's saying is, marriage is transactional. No man would want to marry a woman because he loves her, because there is something lovable about her, because he wants to give of himself to her. A man would only marry a woman to get something. And so what could he get? Well, the traditional model that we're rejecting is that, men marry women so they can cook and clean for them. But what this enlightened, empowered woman is saying is, no, we don't do that. That would be degrading.
Nobody wants to marry a woman that portrays herself like that, even if it's not true. And then you're gonna try to act, young girls are gonna be trying to be like this. The average guy don't want a woman like that.
Cardi B parlayed herself all the way up from the exotic dancer pole to one of the hottest women out there But this guy right here was as good as she could do. And then he wouldn't even stay faithful.
This man condescended to marry me because I do filthy sexual acts on him all the time, and I allow him to degrade me. So that's why this is much more empowered.
But to be pushed mainstream, and I believe a lot of mainstream media is picking this up, this further tells you that we're at the point of no return. Relationships are dead. The women who consume this are the future mothers of America. And, you know, we didn't turn out as bad, but I think this group of generation will further put the death nail in the coffin.
Way up. But then instead of correcting this behavior, we have major news outlets who are controlled by the elites that love to feed into this and promote it because it further divides the country, it further divides the family unit. Once you break up the family unit, you have access to more and more people to influence and to destroy.
This is the modern woman today. And why is this important? Because there are women who will sit back and praise these women for being bosses, divas, queens, you know, CEOs, power movers, all this other kind of stuff. And they have been maybe successful from a career standpoint, but what it really matters is, can they enjoy the fruits of their labors in their personal lives? And arguably, no.
Now, of course, this is a caricature of what marriage used to be. Marriage was not merely a fact of you go and you hire a woman to cook and clean for you. There's a little aspect of that, but more it's about giving yourself to the other person in this union for life. But because of that progressive misunderstanding of the past, which is, you know, the past has to be awful, so things always have to be worse in the past. And we also apply this highly economic model of interpersonal relations, very selfish model of interpersonal relations. We apply that retroactively on the past, even as we reject it. So she's viewing the past through that lens, but then because now we're all enlightened and everything's about sex, she's saying, no, it's much more empowering that I conned my husband into marrying me by performing a lot of strange things on his body.
And I think this is all a part of the plan. I think a lot of our people are just too stupid to see it. They don't want black men to have women that are worthy enough to be wives. And they don't want black women to have men enough worthy to be husbands. I'm talking about that. You know what I'm talking about. And our people are falling into the traps.
Ever since the 1960s, we've had sexual liberation through feminism. So we have all this liberation sexually, and then on top of that, we remove God from the schools. We remove any sense of a moral compass.
Of traditional relationships, the reality of having a virtuous and virginous woman, the reality of having a traditional household where two parents raise children and educate them, that's going to be all but gone. I don't think it's going to return, especially for that community.